Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a wonderful car and a rare one too. This is a Honda Accord 2.4 EX automatic. The car's just covered 53,000 miles from new. Had just the two owners, the last of which has had it since 2007, so it's probably an ex-demonstrator. Probably a demonstrator given the fact that it's absolutely packed with the major options on this car. Obviously the exterior paintwork, which is common on them. Black leather interior, but the 18-inch alloys are a lovely upgrade, as is the auto cruise control, the radar cruise control, which is a very rare thing and very advanced for the age of the car. Car's in really good condition. Not perfect, but very, very clean indeed. Front of the car, lights and lenses, which again on this age of car is rare to see them in such good condition. Bonnet, can hardly see a stone chip anywhere on there at all. Near side of the vehicle, very clean in the panel work, no obvious indentations at all. The alloys are in fantastic condition, they really are. They must have been recently done because they're very, very fresh indeed. Back of the car again, all very clean and tidy. Offside of the vehicle, driver's side, again very, very clean. I did see one small indentation. I mean, it is small, also car parking dink, which could be easily rectified if needs be. Offside alloy again, lovely. So just get around this corner here, just there, little dimple dent. It's just caught something, but that's the only dent I can see on the car. I mean, it really is for a car that's now coming up to 15 years old. I mean, it's in incredible condition. The odd, obviously, touch-in done over the years, which you're naturally going to expect to see on a car this age, but in all honesty, it's such a lovely original car. Coming to the boot area, nice big boot, and as you'd expect, in absolutely fantastic condition. Coming to the back of the car now, black leather seats, again, all looks absolutely fantastic in here. Coming to the front of the car, again, unbelievably clean. It really is. Passenger seat there, been given minimal use. Finally come to the front and driver's side, again, incredibly clean. Driver's seat itself is in, again, just wonderful condition. So finally to come under the engine bay, and I do apologise, the tractor drivers decided to park next to us, cutting the hedge, so well, one of the greatest engine bays and engines you'll ever see. I mean, it is just a work of art for those that love this kind of thing. That is astonishing. So inside the car now, as always, with the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Dashboard, again, just amazing condition. Sat nav equipped model, sat nav working exactly as it should. But the video doesn't do justice really to how this car's been kept inside. It's just in just lovely condition, really is. And then come to the dash, you can see there 53,083 miles. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Accord 2.4 EX automatic, registered NY56EUM, and with a mileage of 53,083 miles. The reason we do all of our videos, and especially this section of the video, is so that if anyone's looking online at any of our cars, they actually get to see the cars we're advertising in operation. We know, unfortunately, to our cost, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car, and when you get there, find out it's got a fundamental issue which shows up whilst driving, which you'd much rather known about before setting off, so hence that's why we do it. So coming to the car itself, as you know from the walk around video, it's a wonderful car. But I'd stick my hand up straight away and say I'm massively biased. I think this is one of Honda's greatest ever cars. For just a normal saloon car, They put so much effort into it, really did. It starts with the heart of the car, the engine, which, by the way, starts instantly, settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle without any warning lights on the dashboard at all, and temperature gauge running at a third, and it's been running for quite some time now. But the engine is, I think, one of the best four-cylinder engines ever manufactured for loads of reasons. It is one of the strongest, most reliable engines ever produced, without doubt. It also produces, huge power for its capacity, and does so with a mechanical kind of refinement and precision that's very hard to explain. Normally, when you get in a car, especially with this sort of vintage, they can feel quite, obviously much older, lacking in sort of refinement and sort of isolation from what's going on, but also they can sound sort of slightly coarse. This is the opposite. And unlike so many VTEC engines where they produce pretty much all of their power, everything's going on right at the sort of top end of the rev range, which I love. In the right car, that's exactly what you want. But what this one gives you is a lot of low down torque. The extra capacity over the 2 litre, for example, times like this, the 2 litre would have dropped a gear straight away. This one doesn't need to. It's got that power, and it pulls hard straight away, but just literally just picks up and goes. But then as it goes towards the top of the rev range, it's, best way to describe it is a bit like the S2000 in a way, but nothing like it in others. How it just seems to just breathe deeper, which it clearly is, because the exhaust valve's going in deeper, duration longer, and you just feel that power just sort of crystallizing as it gets towards the top of the rev range, and with real vigor. I mean, it's constantly pulling on the road here, but yeah, when you put your foot down, that is just an astonishing engine, and I can't think of a modern car I've driven in, apart from those sort of artificially, enhanced power with turbos and everything else, but none of them feel or sound like this. It's just fantastic. Engine then feeds through into the gearbox, which perfect match for the car. Silky gear changes, pretty quick for their vintage as well, and it's, as I said, just makes the engine and gearbox work in absolute harmony, and all the shifts are exactly as they should be, because notwithstanding reputation for reliability, because the gearboxes are just as strong as the engines, they you should just check that when you're stationary, when you select drive or reverse, there's no clunks or delays, and there's none at all, and the gear shifts on the move should be smooth, and they're perfect in that respect. So coming, we leave, one of the world's greatest engines, and come to, one of the most underappreciated or unappreciated chassis I think ever made. I mean, it is a brilliant chassis. It really is. It starts with the steering, fluid power steering, so it's old school and all the better for it, so you actually get feel. The weighting is perfect on it, by the way, so I should say, tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at any speed that I've up to legal limits, certainly. But the steering, when you first get in the car, you kind of wonder, what on earth am I on about? It's one of these power steering systems that just works brilliantly at all speeds. It's obviously light enough to be, make the car nice and manoeuvrable. It's weighty enough to make the car feel incredibly secure and solid on the road. But it also has a real kind of oily precision to every input you put into it. So the movements is just so hard to describe. It's perfect, but also at much higher speeds, it still feels the same. Most cars, they can feel reasonably good up to a certain speed, but then they can feel slightly detached, feel light, slightly vague. And as I said in previous videos for 2.4s, I was incredibly lucky when I was at Honda, because I had a chance to drive these on a race circuit with some of its competitors' cars at the time. taking customers around, and what astonished me, but even obviously the customers, these weren't easy competitors. These were BMWs, they were Volvos, sporty Volvos at the time, Ford Mondeo, ST24, some really good accomplished cars, Audis, Mercedes, you name it. And on the circuit, it murdered them at higher speed, because they would feel great on the road, but would feel floaty and horrible on the track. The only car, I always say it, the ST24 was the only one that came close to it, and it was a brilliant chassis, by the way, the ST24, but they just don't hold together as well as these in any way. But what it still manages to do, while giving that fantastic precision in its handling, is to give you a very comfortable, really beautifully damped ride. It can ride bumps so much better than most modern cars, even sort of non-sporty cars. It's simply amazing. And by the way, as I'm driving along, there's no kind of knockings or clonkings coming from underneath the car. It's all in very, very good order. Just going to pick up a bit of speed, just give the brakes a bit of a shove, but there's someone sort of not too far behind, so I'm not going to go too mad on them. But basically, just nice solid brake pedal on the car. I'm looking for particularly that just first bite, just feeling for any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back to the brake pedal, which suggests disc wear, or distortion, but there's nothing at all. It's coming inside the car again. I mean, it really is. It's amazing in here. The first thing you notice straight away is how brilliantly made the car is. There isn't a squeak or a rattle from the interior of the car. Nothing at all. I mean, it is just beautifully, beautifully put together, and it's been kept absolutely beautifully. It's also a lovely place to sit. You've got these brilliant, beautifully padded seats, electric, obviously adjustable, heated on the driver's side, or heated both seats, electrical on the driver's side. But yeah, just perfect. Driving position, absolutely spot on as well. A very highly equipped car. I mean, again, this one benefits from this lovely option of having the auto cruise control. So press the button there, it says ACC, and then press set to set my speed. And it basically using a radar now to control the distance from the car in front. So if I'm catching up, it'll slow me down. I can also change the distance to the car in front. I can press the button for lane mitigation. So basically, it tells you when you're leaving your lane. I mean, it's way ahead of its time and all working perfectly. Likewise, sat nav all functioning exactly as it should. You've got a dual zone climate control system, again working absolutely perfectly. Blows out lovely cold air. We tried that in a nice warm workshop earlier on. Heated seats again work exactly as they should. Binnacle in front, lovely, simple, easy, legible dials, beautifully presented as always by Honda. So simple compared to modern dashboards as well, and so much better for it. I wish manufacturers would just stop overloading the dashboards with way too much information. I mean, I think these big tablet screens, they should be banned. They are such a massive distraction. Too many things you've got to go into to just do the most basic functions. It's just a joy to get in. It is a proper analog car. It really is. It's just a wonderful piece of engineering. Steering wheel, it's relatively thin rimmed again compared to most cars now. They get these big fat steering wheels you've got to hardly get your hands around. But this it's perfect, absolutely perfect, and it looks and feels like new to hold. Really is just an astonishing car. The only criticism, which is a real common, by the way, by the way, I should say, but the squeaky with wiper blades, but new wiper blades are coming this morning for the car. The only thing that is a real common, you go on any forum, if I touch that on here, the display up there for the radio can be intermittent. You can get second-hand displays, but it's a little solders on the back, but not something we'll be doing anything about. It's something that you can certainly live with. But that's it. That's the only thing I can criticise, because the car just literally drives. I remember 15 years ago being at Honda selling these cars, or working with these cars rather, and the generation before, the Type R's from the previous generation. And it's hard to differentiate between this and one that had done a couple of thousand miles. It really is. It's a wonderful find for someone. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate to give us a call.